Welcome to day 22. Today we're going to be talking about finding the problem awareness. So now that we've greeted the prospect and we've set the frame, it's time to move into arguably the most powerful part of the sales call, which is problem awareness, right? So this is where we're going to help the prospect get honest and be honest, not just with us, but most importantly themselves, right? We're not going to push them. We're just going to ask questions that make them really reflect on what's not working and why they haven't changed it yet. The simple way to put it in terms of like why we do this is when someone jumps on a call, right? Most of the time they never really take a full look at least, at their situation, and people rarely reflect on themselves ever, right? So problem awareness, this section, it helps them say, okay, this is a problem and I've been ignoring it, or this is a problem and it's much bigger than I thought it was, right? And like I said, they're not just telling you what's wrong, they're most importantly telling themselves. And that is where we can actually start to see real change come from this, okay? So this part is not about you sounding smart. It's not about you pushing them or doing anything, right? It's about you asking the right questions and most importantly, listening. Sales is just listening. You're having a conversation, okay? I'm going to walk you through like an example of what a problem awareness could look like in a very simple way. But it's hard to script these things. That's why I'm going to explain to you the why, the what, and we're also going to show a bit of the how, but like I said, it's more about the framework and understanding why we do this so you can actually implement it successfully. So going to the what, right? So what we're doing is we are helping the prospect look at their current situation as clear as possible. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're helping them see how long this has been going on for. The third thing we're doing is we're helping them feel the impact. Practical impact, emotional impact, physical impact, relationship impact, right? Family impact. There's a lot of impact that certain things could have. An example for that, which we're going to talk about in the example, for example, a bit of a spoiler, we're going to be talking about fitness coaching, because I think it's something that everyone can kind of understand the challenges that can face. But the impact of obviously not being in shape is you got low confidence, which means when you go out you don't feel comfortable, you're not really talking to maybe women as much as you would like, or maybe you aren't comfortable in your own skin, which is causing you to talk to yourself very negatively, which is having an impact on overall your goals that you have for life, right? Because you talk to yourself so negatively all the time, and because if you don't believe in yourself physically, how will you believe in yourself, goals-wise is what I'm talking about, like mentally. The final thing we're also doing is we're helping them start to think about, like, why haven't I fixed this yet, right? So sales, all you're doing in sales, right, this is the best way, as someone has told me of, like, the best way to describe sales. All you're doing in sales is you're making someone feel stupid for saying no. And for us to do that, we need to help them start to wonder, why haven't I fixed this yet? Like, this is a real big problem. I've been having this problem for a while now. Like, why haven't I fixed it yet? And that is basically what we're doing from this conversation. We're not pushing them with anything. Again, like, we need to build trust, and that's just done through conversation, right? You cannot have a script for this conversation. This conversation is purely about, okay, this is your problem. How long has it been a problem? How does it make you feel? The impact, etc. Now let's go into an example, right? So we're going to use the fitness coaching example. So let's say you're selling an online fitness program for like 9-to-5ers, right? People who are busy. So what that might sound like is you as the sales rep, you frame the call, now you get into this. So, John, do you like the way your current workout routine is going? Right? This is important because you're assuming they're working out. Because as a fitness sales rep, you should be assuming everyone is working out. because you know the benefits of it, right? So you're assuming they're working out. So they'll say, let's say, oh, it's okay. Like, I've been trying to hit the gym a few times a week. Nice. I guess, what do you like about going to the gym? Well, I like that, I feel like I'm doing something, And you could be like, totally. Is there anything maybe you'd want to change about how it's going or maybe the results you're getting? 100%. They'll probably tell you, like, I've been stuck at this weight for 6 months and I don't really have a plan. I just kind of do whatever, right? Then you kind of go into how's that been, how long would you say that's been going on for? How's that been affecting other areas of your life? And you can start to see how the prospect goes from, yeah, I'm doing okay, as you can see, like, it's okay. And then they say, I haven't had any results for the past 6 months, right? I've been stuck. How long would you say that's been going on, right? You being stuck at this way, or you feeling stuck. How long do you feel like, have you been feeling stuck? 12 months, 2 years. Okay. And like being stuck for like 2 years, feeling that way, like, has that been affecting other areas of your life? And now you've all of a sudden, with that question, which is a fantastic question, by the way, and the reason for that is you're turning a small problem into a massive one for the prospect in their eyes. And so they can hear themselves talk about it, right? That is why it's so effective, because you're turning a small problem into a massive problem. And if they can see how it's affecting other areas of their life, wow, they are going to open up. And you didn't push them at all, right? It's a normal conversation, it flows. You just ask them the right questions, right? You're asking them about their current routine, what they like about it. Most of the time they have a problem, so there'll be something they don't like about it. You'll obviously have personality types that have like big egos or confidence or whatever, and they'll be like, yeah, no, I'm fine. Like, yeah, it's going okay. And that's like a whole different ballpark. But yeah, that is basically kind of what a conversation can look like, and you can kind of start to see how a small problem turns into a big one. Now, let's go into some examples of questions that you can use. And let's just reiterate here, you're not going to use all of these questions. You're just going to use a few of them. Again, depending how the conversation flows. So, again, it's great to start with what they like about what they're doing. So, do you like how things are going with your fitness, with your business right now, right? What do you like about it? Oh, I like this. Okay, why is that important to you, right? So maybe they say, oh, I've got like a PT at the gym. Oh, okay, nice. And why is that important to you? Like, why do you like having a PT at the gym? I like the accountability, this. Because then they're going to give you stuff, right? That is later going to come up in your pitch that you can bring up, right? Because obviously, let's say they like the accountability of having a personal trainer. Then, okay, having accountability, you know that's important to them, and you know the reason why it's important to them. So tie that into the pitch. If that's what you offer, obviously, tie that down, because you know they like it, right? It's very simple. And then basically what you want to do is you start with what they like, and then you want to gently challenge it, right? So is there anything maybe you'd change about it if you could, right? What do you mean by, change the amount of times you go to the gym? How long has it been going on for? What's been the impact for you, right? And the reason that you gently challenge it is because people will have things that they like about what they do, right? So, for example, let's say you are, I'll give you another example, not just fitness, but like business, right? If you're selling marketing, right? Marketing services, you're helping businesses get more attention, helping them make more money. They are probably like not doing terribly because what you're selling is probably not super cheap, right? So they're probably not doing terribly. You ask them, okay, so like, what do you like about the way you're currently, running your marketing at your business? Well, like this, and this. Okay, there are things that you like, but then you challenge it because, again, they have things that they do not like because they are on the call with you. If everything was perfect, they would not be on the call with you. So there is something there. And the reason you start with what they like is because it builds trust. Because people would much rather talk about what they like than what they don't like. Okay, so you start with that first. It builds trust. Then you clarify, right? Why did you say this? Why did you say that you've been feeling stressed? Why do you say that it's been making you look at yourself weird in the mirror? Why do you say that it's been affecting your confidence, right? Ask them. Because this is something that you just have to start looking at in a different sense now, is like when you're conversing with someone, really think about it. When you ask someone a question, right? Let's say you have two people here. Let's say, how did you like that meal? Yeah, I liked it. I liked it too. They both liked it. Okay. Good that they liked it. But if you ask why, I guarantee you they will have liked it for different reasons. Or similar but different. Right? Same with everyone. People have, us as humans, we have different interests, different things that we like, that we don't like, that affect us differently. Different personality types. Some people have more confidence naturally. Like, you can be an overweight dude and still have confidence, right? It's just naturally a lot of overweight people don't. And so there's a bunch of different things. So don't assume how someone feels. Don't assume what someone likes about something, or what confidence means to someone, or what they mean when they say they don't like the way they look in the mirror, right? Even if you think you know, ask. Because what that is going to do in this part of the call, it's going to build a lot of trust. It's important to build trust. It's important to show that you're listening. So, that is why you do that. And those are some examples for you. Okay? Then you can ask questions again in terms of clarifying, like, why now though? Right? Later in the call is where you really want to create urgency by talking about, it's the consequence section that we spoke about the other day, which is about, talking about what happens if you don't do anything about this. But you can start creating and building some urgency now. It will help a lot, right? It's the way you need to think about it is, okay, your prospect can go into the rest of the call in two different mindsets. One that has a bit more urgency and a bit more desire to do this and escape their current situation, compared to one that doesn't have that urgency. The one that does have the urgency is going to be a much better conversation, so that when you pitch, you are way more likely to get the sale. Okay? So, that is that. And again, why does this work? Okay, when your prospects start to hear themselves say, it's been like this for 6 months, it's costing me time, it's stopping me from doing what I want, they're going to start to feel it. They're going to start to see the cost and the problem of just staying where they are. They start to wonder what life could look like on the other side. Right? And that's what this part of the call is really about. Because you're not here to poke at pain just for the sake of it, right? Because you're actually here to help the person on the other end of the call get honest with themselves. People lie to themselves all the time. You're here to hold people accountable. You're here to be a leader. Okay? So, you need to help people be honest with themselves about what's not working and why they want something better. When you start doing that well, you don't need to sell, right? Selling becomes easy when you can have and show the people you're speaking with that you're here to help them. Because they will understand that change needs to happen. Okay? So, in the next video, we're going to talk about where the conversation shifts and how to shift it, right? From pain to the potential of what they could be and where they could be. So that the prospect starts to imagine what their life could look like once the problem is solved and once the pain is solved. All right? That's everything for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to see your key takeaways down below. And as always, let's have a blessed rest of the day, blessed rest of the week. All right? All the best, guys.